Okay, now now that we have an inbox, we have followers, we have activity. Next thing we want to do is add a chat functionality. But the chat functionality is going to be very similar to the comments. So we want to basically turn this comments section into a component so that we could reuse it and pass in data from both comment and chat. So we don't have to just copy and paste the whole code. We could copy and paste the component instead. So what we're going to do is first first we need to get friends, actually. So the only people we could chat with is friends. And the way we get friends is we already have everyone that's following us, and we have all of our followers. And so we're going to create a new thing called friends, set friends. And friends are just people that exist as the user. Let's see if I could say this correctly. The user of a follower. So the follower user ID for everyone that we're following, along with the user ID that everyone that's following us, those two arrays, the commonalities between that are the friends. And so we want to do get friends. Nope. We want to const friends, or let's say duplicates. Where's that filter? So following, we want the follower user ID. So f.follower user ID to equal the follower user ID. And we need that to be the duplicate. So console log duplicates. In React use effect, we only want to call it when following and followers is there. Get friends. Expected one are, yeah. Oh. Okay, let's see what we get here. Okay, that worked. We shouldn't be able to follow ourselves, but it does work. Okay, so with this, we're going to set friends. You know what? Hold on. Const friend following IDs equals people we're following, so we want the follower user ID. Const follower IDs, we want the people following us. Then, as duplicates, we want to find that filter where the following IDs is included in the follower IDs. And these are the duplicates. Oh, let's log. It's essentially the same thing, but I feel like the fact that it's just IDs makes it a lot more clear. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have friends, which is not confusing at all. So let's pass this down so that we could use it in our component. Okay, now we're going to go to inbox. Inbox, we want to essentially use the same component. Followers, yeah, we'll use the followers one. Okay, so we want to loop through all of our friends, quote unquote friends. we go to inbox, we go down here, we add flat list, image, we get our friends from use auth, and then we still need to get the friend data from that, or get users, because all we have is the IDs of the users that are our friends. This is confusing, but this is still the most clear that I've been able to explain it just yet. React.useState, import React, and then get users. Okay, so we have our friends. Friends is already just IDs, so we can just pass that in. It's from user table, get all the information. If no error, oh, return. Okay, same thing. Then pass in the users, user ID, user so then let's try this again. So now we have Nerd and Tim. Since we're able to follow ourselves, we probably want to remove that functionality to be able to add ourselves. So right now we only have Tim. Right now Tim goes to the profile, but we want to go to chat instead. And then we want to add chat username, or user ID, sorry. And this page doesn't exist yet, so we want to create it, new file called chat.tsx. In that file, we want to basically use the same comment component. So instead of just copy and pasting this code, let's do it the right way finally and create a component. And let's call it messages.tsx. So we're going to copy and paste this whole thing at first. And we're eventually going to, we want to still get the comments and all the data calls from the parent component. But we want to be able to, yeah, there we go, pass in messages and add message. Do we need a title? Yeah, I feel like it's more confusing if we have it. Then we have messages, add message, messages. Okay. So we still want to control state. So we want to, instead of add message, we want to pass in the text, since we want to manage the text from here. So text. And then we also want to be able to set the local text to nil when it's sent. Okay, and then let's go to comments. We're going to delete all of this. Let's import it. And let's add this keyboard dismiss actually to that component as well. So the keyboard is being managed from here. Yeah, let's add message last. Okay, and then in comments, we can remove this. We're gonna remove this. We can remove text text we're just going to pass in from the component, so that can be removed. All of this can be removed. And it should still work the same way. Hello. There you go. Okay, still working. So now, the chat page that doesn't exist, let's copy this much smaller component. So let's get chat. Chats. Nah, let's get message. Nah, let's get chat. Let's get chats. Chat. Get chat. Get chat. Let's get messages. Naming. How many times am I gonna say that? Comments, messages, set messages, chat, get messages. And add message. But we don't have this concept of video, so we have chat. We have chat to user ID. And we have text. And then also we have users key. So users key is going to be kind of like this, but not really. Users key is going to be a combination of both the IDs in an array, sorted, and then joined on a colon, so that it's unique to those two people. So users key equal an array of user ID, chat ID, sort. I like the colon instead. And then we're going to query on this user's key as well. So we could see that we have user ID, chat user ID, users key, text, and that's it. So if everything works correctly, we should be able to, oh, well, we didn't define the route yet. And that's because I want it to be a modal. There we go. Does this work? It does work, but the next thing we want to do, and I'm going to log in as another user on a different device so that we can see it happen, is actually add the ability to have real-time updates. So right now, if you're in this chat and someone else sends a message, the other person, then you're going to have to reload to be able to see the text. But what we want to do instead is to be able to use the real-time functionality from Supabase, which is pretty cool. But the first thing we want to do is go to chat. So if we go to the table, we just select enable real-time, and then that gives us the ability to use some of the real-time functionality. So if we go to Supabase, you can just do Supabase real-time. And they have some functionality that you could subscribe to a channel, and then on the changes, whether it's insert, update, delete, you could listen to that update. And this is where the idea of the user's key comes into play, because the channel name would be the user's key. So I'm just going to log in on another device real quick, and then show hello. That if I send a message right now, it shows up on my other device, but then it doesn't show up here until I reload it. So what we want to be able to do is to be able to listen for changes on the chat. So we're going to go to chat, and we're going to add react.useEffect. No. So we're going to do listen to messages, set messages, and users key. And in here, we're going to const channel. Okay, so the channel is going to be users key. That's the name of the channel. And we want to listen for Postgres changes in the event of an insert. You could also do, you just put star for all this if you want to listen to updating, deleting. But right now, all we're doing is actually inserting. We don't give the ability to delete or update a message. And then we're going to listen on the chat table. And like I said, be sure to enable it so you can see real time is on. And then filter on key. And then on this payload, we're going to set messages. Unsubscribe. Wow, did this actually get it right? Maybe. So let's test this out. What? Nope. Okay. So, oh, that's what it was. Okay, so since username isn't actually on the chat table, what I did before was just called get messages. So instead of updating, which would be the right way to do it, we're just going to call get messages again so that we know when to call it. We don't want to constantly be calling it, but this will get the latest message and it'll be in real time. So let's try this again. We could say what? It's working. Hey, there we go. Nice. Let's add an emoji. Another emoji. And there we go. So chat's working. And it's pretty easy to get real time up and running because it's all the same. It's all the same database. It's not like a different section. It just gives you the ability to listen to changes. And then actually one thing you do want to do from here is to clean up this. So we want to be able to unsubscribe when we leave. Actually, we want to just remove channel. Supabase channel. Remove channel. So we don't want to just always keep listening. And we're going to console log the payload real quick because you could see that we want the username, but since username isn't defined on the chat table, it's not going to show up. So we can see the commit timestamp, any errors, the event type is insert, and then the new row. So chat user ID, created at ID, text, user ID. And there you go. And then also like removing the listener. So we added a chat, we're able to chat with friends in a modal, and created the chat section as a component so that we don't have to copy and paste all of it every single time.